Well, hey, we are sitting down with the director of enterprise sales at Stella Automotive, Ron Smith.
This is Auto Collabs.
Enterprise
sales
Director.
Hey, look at that. Guys, just real quick. First of all, when you fly into Chicago and it's rainy and cloudy, you're like, about right.
Very Chicago-y, but not really Chicago-y in the spring. It should be a little nicer about this.
It should be nicer. It's unbelievable. But I will say the salad that I had was extremely nice, and it was wonderful.
Talking about this salad.
Keep talking about a salad. I got to talk about a salad.
Salad is a promissory note that real food will soon arrive. This is why restaurants. This is why restaurants bring it out first.
I'm putting that on a t-shirt.
Well, it's okay. I just got invited to lunch, so maybe I'll go eat the meat here in just a second. I'll go get the meat.
You should.
You should go get a deep dish. Well, hey, we are sitting down with the director of enterprise sales at Stella Automotive, Ron Smith. Tell me a little bit more about what do you guys know about Ron? He won the pitch tank.
Yep. He won the pitch tank. That's most of what I know about Ron, Stella. Except for he works for Stella. No, well, I met him at ASOTU last year. Tons of energy. I think he was actually new in the role. They brought their whole team to ASOTU. I will say, just the Stella team just has a ton of energy. They're aligned with what we're doing here at ASOTU. Just as personally they are. And so it's always encouraging. Yeah, they're just kind people. It's always encouraging to jam with them. And so I'm sure that we're going to discover things that we'll all look back and be like, yeah, Ron's one of our own, just because I know the vibe of the people that they typically bring around. So we hope you enjoyed this conversation with Ron. Ron, what's up, man? We are excited to be hanging out with you. You were the winner of one of the months of Pinch Tank Championship. So congratulations first on that, because that's a whole deal. Man, thanks for joining us.
Heat Lamp, we appreciate it. We appreciate the opportunity getting into there and winning it. So it's great to be
real quick. For those that don't know what Pitch Tank is, it's like a 3-minute audio only presentation. If you're watching this on video, Ron he's got a great voice for radio too. But tell the people what the preparation, the process, and the feeling is going into just having to explain everything you do in under 3 minutes without a deck. How does that work in your brain leading up to something like that?
Oh man, well, one thing that really helps us out is the fact that our AI, we usually do live demos, and we can usually get on and off the phone in 1 minute and 20 seconds. So I can just fill up 1 minute and 20 of the 3 minutes.
That's a pretty great advantage.
So that's the easiest part about it. So we do our little intro. Hey, this is what Stella does. Show something cool and new to everybody, and on the outro, just touch a little bit more, put a hook in, get the dealers to want to pump up. But there was preparation we had to do on there, right? I probably ran through it 10 times, my VP of marketing, just to ensure that I was falling within that 3-minute time frame.
Did that change the game for you, with the rest of stuff? Because you're in the sales environment. Did that change the game for you to pitch in, you're in elevators at NADA, just so you know, blah, 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 blah. Here it is, right?
It did. So just to tell you all this, a little behind the scenes, the last pitch that I did, we decided to change the entire pitch up 30 minutes before. That's the first time I ever did that pitch. And legitimately, the whole entire team has taken that pitch and just ran with it across the board. So we found new ways to talk about Stella just by going through a 3-minute time frame of a pitch tank. It was pretty cool.
So tell me what it was like training the person that you called to sound just like Stella.
That's cool. That's messed up.
No, I'm just kidding, man. I was on that pitch, and it was awesome to just hear it go the way it went, and you had such an advantage of that mic drop moment. Oh, well, you don't believe me? I'm gonna call in right now. Which is probably how a lot of your pitches go.
It is, right? A lot of times there's wow, how did that person just talk to me, right? They just responded, and so many a times when we go through the pitch, I'm always all right, Mr. and Mrs. Car Dealer, just please let me get through these 3 calls. Usually after call number 1, I don't go any further. I'm already answering questions because they're just so intrigued about how fast that responsiveness was with the AI.
For those that are, I was going to say, for those that are, maybe tuning in for the first time, or maybe this is the first time they've heard Stella, Can you give me the Cliff's notes on what it is? What problem does it solve?
So Stella is a conversational AI leading provider in all of automotive, right? Stella will book, change, or cancel all of the inbound phone call traffic that comes into the service department. We'll also do location, hours, roadside assistance. We also just launched a new product called our front end reception that'll basically eliminate the ability for an IVR, press 1 for sales, press 2 for service, just let Stella pick it up. I mean, on average, 30% of inbound phone calls are going just missed. So Stella just helps facilitate all of that traffic to ensure the dealers don't miss any more phone calls, plus give the consumers the good experience of ensuring they're going to accomplish their goals when they're on the phone.
Nice. Okay. Enough about Stella, because this is a little bit more about Ron.
Oh yeah,
she's exciting and all that type of stuff. But Ron, Stella. So just so everyone knows, I'm in a mess of a day.
He's in a mood.
I'm in a whole mood. I just had a really, really great salad at a place that I've never been. So I'm on cloud 9 with the salad.
Now we know Kyle's a liar. Okay. Yeah, about the salad, really good salad. Yeah, we're tracking.
I had a great salad.
We all want to be somebody else. Yeah.
So Ron, take us back, maybe not to your childhood, but talk to us a little bit about what your career in automotive has been. Have you was Stella the first stop, or have you been in automotive in a few other places before that?
Oh, okay. So I'll take you back to my childhood. My dad's in the car business.
Now.
So 13 years old, I was already pushing this thing called a billy goat through the lot for $5 an hour, picking up all the cigarette butts.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So like, it was, so that's when I started. So like, I never asked my dad, all I asked him at dinner was like, how many cars did you sell today? Right. Like that was the first thing. So I went into officially a lot porter at 18, sold cars for him. And then I was the house mouse apparently, right? So what I had to do was move from my dad down to Florida and started selling cars with Asbury Automotive at Cog and Honda in Jax. So I did that, made it all the way up to used car director for the first, for 5 years there. And then I did a 10-year stint at Cox Automotive. Traded marketplace, spent my last 5 years with Auto in particular. And then Stella decided to launch a sales team in August. I got basically like my Shark Tank pitch, I got a 3-minute phone call with a minute of a demo. And I was like, okay, AI, I'm in. So I came here in August. So I've been in the car business for over 20 years, guys. It's been amazing seeing the changes.
Look, I think that there's always just such a wasted time slot in the beginning of anyone who's selling a tech product in automotive to be like, I grew up on the lot, right? Yeah. I grew up pushing the billy goat. The dinner conversation was, how many did you sell? And I already knew by dad's attitude how many about that was. Right?
It's funny because I was a junior. So like people would always come in and look for Ron at the dealership, and my dad would give deals to like other people because they would send them to my dad. And I was like, what the heck? But all these salespeople used to call me Junebug at the dealership. So then I started going by Junebug, and I never missed another deal again from that standpoint because you just had to get creative back then. And it was fun. I was also the internet manager because I knew how to change the printer ink at the time, which was pretty cool.
Hey, right. The good news is nothing's changed.
Yeah. Right? Now you just know how to reset passwords. Right?
Yeah, that's it.
Talking about job security.
Yeah.
Right. Oh no. Whew. I'm sideways. I can't get over the billy goat.
The billy goat. You just think about that little thing. You push it and it just eats up everything in its sight, right? All the cigarette butts. Remember that? Remember the lots were littered with cigarette butts. Okay, so dealers, industry partners, right? It's this age-old, like, I need you, but will you get out of my office kind of mentality. So you, as a dealer, you've seen the sales pitch from both sides. As a vendor, you've seen the sales pitch from the like, okay, how quickly can I get this out? How can I actually serve the dealer instead of just telling them what I have? You've experienced both sides. So from the dealer side, okay, I'm asking you to put your dealer hat back on.
All right.
What is the most annoying thing that a vendor can do when they try to pitch you a product?
Oh man, talk.
I think you just actually nailed it. I think you just nailed it.
I found myself a lot of times just listening to these people just go on and on and on and never truly just ask me questions about what I needed. Right. Like,
that's good.
selling isn't selling. So that is just the world that happens like every day. It's still happening every day with people going into stores. They just want to come in and tell you about your product, right? Let's help them solve a problem, right? And I can tell you, the more you get your dealer to talk, like I always learn like the first one to talk loses, right? So let's just go ahead and let them just ask them the right questions, do a little bit of pre-work before you go in. You'll be able to find your way into the right conversation. It's just a matter of just understand and listen a little bit more than just talking to people.
I always feel like controversial statement of the day. I always feel like
too early for that.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, Paul.
Yeah.
I feel like, what lends its hand to that, why they go in with that urgency to like pitch, right, is because they're hard up for cash. But here's my statement. How dare you put yourself in a position where you're so hard up for cash? You know what I mean?
Get him.
Like,
get him. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Because like what you're saying, Ron, resonates with, I think, safe to say, all three of us here. And of course, those that are part of the ASOTU community, which is people over everything else, right? Like love people more than you love the thing. But I always feel like, man, the only reason you feel urgency to earn the dough is because you put yourself in a position where you didn't have the dough. And then that precludes you from being able to actually just build a relationship. And like you said, listen, curious your take. I want your no, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to ask for your controversial statement of the day. I won't do that to you, but curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, you think about just like dealing with a salesperson, like a car salesperson on the 9th of the month, and they haven't sold a car. You can see it in their eyes, like hunger, and so. I think that there is this element that when we get into sales, that when we get into product pitching, that when we get into any of that, and we're prioritizing, like you said, telling isn't selling. We're just like shouting at people instead of solving problems. That immediately, I don't care who you are, it puts your defenses up. You're questioning like, what's the motive on the other side? Is the product really good? Anything like that. So how do you combat that? Because obviously in the sales environment, there's deadlines to meet, there's goals to hit. There are margins and there's growth metrics that have to happen, especially your role in charge of enterprise sales accounts. Like that's large accounts that have a lot of opportunity for any sort of, business, especially in the SaaS world. How do you balance the like necessity to sell, the thing that has to happen for the business to keep moving, and the human element of conversation and problem solving? How do you balance that in a day-to-day basis?
For one, like pre-work is critical for us. Understanding the knowledge of the conversation before you're going into the store, right? Our AI answers the phone. So doing some secret shop analyses of the stores is one way to easily combat that of just preparation. Referral business from people that have already sold. Like you've already sold that clients too. Like nothing's more powerful than one of our current clients calling one of their buddies or even a competitor that they've done to get that door just already open for you. So I'm really, really big on like warm to hot opportunities, right? The cold calling is still very, very tough and it's still a challenge. And if you're just strictly cold calling on clients in this atmosphere right here, you're going to have a really tough time because look, the vendor world's been out for a very long time dealing with dealers, right? Dealers have had some poor experiences. They've also had some really good experiences with people too, but their guards are up before you even get in the door. So if there's a way that you can use your network, your LinkedIn network or my networks from my previous people to help get me a soft introduction to somebody that's able to get me over the hump, that helps us stay ahead of this. Now, the enterprise side, it's not like riding a jet ski and you could just pivot and turn and just close one rooftop. There's got to be a level of patience that I've had to learn. And I'm a very impatient person. So like that level of patience that, hey, like, you're going to be able to, like, Rome wasn't built in one day as an example. Like you just have to establish the process, establish the rules of engagement that you have with your team, and then just follow it through, see it to a T. It's tried and true from my experience, my 10 years at Cox Automotive. That is one company that is unbelievable with educating their people of how to just stay on top of their days. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I have one more question. This is probably the last one we get to today. So we just asked you that from the dealer side. What's the most annoying thing that a vendor can do? You said talk, and then we went into the conversation. What's the most annoying thing that a dealer can do to a vendor? Because the hope is here that through growing a little empathy between the dealers and industry partners, we help the conversations connect faster, because that makes innovation go faster. So what do dealers do that if they didn't do would actually help the process go a little bit easier for everybody? Let's get in trouble. Let's get in trouble with this one.
Tell it to me,
Kyle.
Tell it to me, Ron. Give it to us. Yeah.
You know what I want? Like, I just want like yeses or nos, right? The gray area makes it really tough, right? To not understand the path or the move that we're getting out of responsiveness, right? Because and sometimes in your world you feel like you've got a great conversation moving along and along and along, and then it just drops off and goes dark, right? Now you got to figure out how to revive that or whatnot. I love there's the people that I meet with, like these alpha personalities that are just like, nope, not moving forward. Yes, moving forward. Like I don't like the gray area in regards to the conversation piece with dealers, right? I just want to know, hey, you're either in. If you're not in, tell me why you're not in, so that at least if it's something that I can address that there. But that gray area of the responsiveness, like I'm one that wants to respond fast, right? Like I want, if I'm texting with somebody, I want to text them back quickly, email quickly. Yep. And I don't expect for people to email me fast or whenever. I do just like timely responses at some point in time, just to
Understood.
know.
You just want to know. It's just
Let's
like
you're
in or you're
too.
out. Let's go.
Yeah, right. That's it. I just want to know.
Dude, Paul thought he was going to stump you, but you are clearly an enterprise sales professional. You maneuvered your words with grace and dignity and answered it so well. Man,
we're flying the plane while we're building it over here. You know what I'm saying?
That seems to be a theme of this this generation. So we're all for it, man. Ron, thank you so much for joining us here on Auto Collabs. How can those listening get in touch with you?
So we have a fantastic website, meetstella.ai. That's where you can go and do all kinds of research. We have testimonials on here. You can certainly just call my cell phone, 904-738-4011. I will answer it. I will respond.
Not Stella, he will.
Yeah, not Stella, you.
And then ron.smith@stellaautomotive.com. But our website is loaded with content.
Awesome. Love it. Ron Junebug Smith on Auto Collabs. Thanks so much for joining us.
There you go.
Well, there you go. We thought we were going to get him on some controversial questions. I think that is our uncommunicated
You were
strategy.
coming for him. I'm telling you what.
Uncommunicated strategy from now on. If you're a vendor and you're on this show, we're going to ask you hard questions, because that's actually what's going to make everyone listen to your episode.
I love it.
So be ready.
I love it.
His answers were amazing. His answers were
absolutely
amazing.
The fact that he's been on the dealership side, family's in the dealer, has been tons of years on the vendor side, and still had some of the clarity that like he can kind of see both sides. That's important to me. And I think that our industry as a whole, just the more we can look across the aisle and go, I see you, I understand where you're at, why you're doing what you're doing, what you need. You know, like he just said, hey, if you say no, that's fine. There's 17,000 dealers out there that my team has to work with, right? Just tell me what's up. And if it's something I can handle, great. And if not, then we'll move on down Life's Highway, shake hands, be friends. You know,
my mind does move to a skit. Maybe I approach life through skits, like SNL style skit. But I love how concisely he answered the first question that Paul asked, which was like, what's the biggest mistake that vendors do? He goes, talk. And then on the flip side of it, when you ask him, well, what's the biggest mistake? And to your point, Kyle, he shares this diatribe about, well, like, just give me an answer. Like, make it a yes, make it a no. Don't ghost me. Don't whatever. But then he asked, like, why are you not in? Like, explain to me why you were not in. And in this skit, I picture the dealer just going, because you talked.
You talked, kid. You talked.
Kid. Right. It's just over and over.
I think I love the fact that we just found out he was in the business. And I will say this again, because if I was an industry partner and I had sold cars and grew up in the business, it would be my profile picture. It would be my constant narrative. It would be the first line out of my mouth, because everyone wants to know that you understand their side. And if you're an industry partner, like, The dealer's in the middle of it every single day. The GM or the marketing manager, they're in the middle of it every single day. And why shouldn't they start with like, how do you understand what I'm going through right now? Well, I grew up in the car business selling cars and this and that. That's how I should understand.
Why
like,
else
I would
you
just
think
leave
I'm
with
wearing a
that.
Junebug costume?
The June bug. He's got to lean
I don't
into the
actually
June
know what a
bug.
June bug looks like.
Me either.
I know that
knows?
Jim Carrey swallowed one going through
About
the
this
passing
big.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah. Oh, that got him. Well, if that wasn't a great way to end the episode thinking about Jim Carrey swallowing a June bug, that's that for you. Thank you so much on behalf of Paul J. Daly, Michael Cirillo, and myself, Kyle Maltseer. Thanks for joining us on Auto Collapse.
Welcome to Auto Collapse.
Why are we recording? Are we rolling yet?